Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. So I thought we'd do a colour along in The Mouse Guard. I am adoring this book right now, and I managed to find David Petersen, the artist behind The Mouse Guard's website, and some of his art. So I thought we'd be really brave and we would tackle, gonna have to come out, we would tackle this giant page with the beautiful eel and the seahorse and the mouse. It's just a stunning page. So my thoughts are neocolours for the background, using the palette board so that I can control the water, because it does seep through these pages, so you have to be quite careful with it. Then an ink base and then pencils over the top, and then the bubbles we'll do with a white gel pen. So that's my thoughts. I thought we haven't used Neos forever, so I thought we'd try that. So I'm going to go off, now you know which page we're going to do, I'm going to go off, get myself set up and organised, and then I'll be back with you with colours and we'll be ready to go. See you in a sec. Right, so I've selected some colours and I'm going to use my Caran d'Ache palette board and my trusty stationary island brush, just because it's bigger than my new Derwent one. So I've got like an array of colours here. I haven't used our Neos for ages, and so it's about time. Let me bring you in. Okay, so I have got, if you can see, Prussian Blue, Ultramarine, what's that one, Light Blue, Blue Turquoise or Turquoise Blue, and Light Cobalt Blue. Can you see all of those? There we go. So I'm going to, using the board, I'm going to start with our darkest colour, which is the Prussian Blue, and I'm going to put some of that on the board. There we are. Then what I'm going to do is start with the deepest areas, and it's going to get lighter as we go across here. So let me just make myself some space. Oh, I've got myself a new colouring cart, so that I can have stuff by the side of me without my desk being overwhelmed like it normally is. Okay, so we've got, this is eel here, right down in here is going to be very dark. So I'm going to activate on here, I'm going to activate the Neo colour, and then pretty much like we did when I swatched the Artisas and we were using those, you know, those gorgeous metallic colours that Kevin got for me, I am going to just go in and I'm going to try not to stop in one spot too long, because this paper just doesn't like it and it will go through. So, and the less precise I am with it, the better it seems to turn out, and we will just merge all those beautiful blues and turquoises together. Just check on the back. No, it's not going through. So apologies for the dog. Okay. So I'm just going to try not to stop in one spot too long with my water brush, and you're all in shot. And just get that nice deep colour in. And if it's not dark enough, we can either use pencils or we can go back in with more Neo colour. I love using Neo colours. Right, where else have we got deep? We can do a little bit in here. And then we can sort of push it up so that we can blend it into the next colour. And then over on this page, we've got quite a bit. We've got round his little tail. I'm I have to be a bit more cautious. There we go. I'm just going to spread that down. Obviously might need to deepen that up, but like I say, this paper's not a fan of too much water. There we go. Give me 1 second. Sorry about that. Yeah, so just dropping a bit more colour in there. I'm not too fussed about the bubbles. I will, we can always come in pencil as well, and I will do gel pen over the top of the bubbles. White gel pen, I think that'll look cool. Okay. Now I did contemplate using a stencil and pastels for this background. Gosh, I'm out of breath. I was running up and down the stairs quick. But I just thought actually the picture is going to be too busy. So keep it simple. Sometimes simple is more effective, especially in busy pictures like this one. So come around here. Can you see? Yeah, you can. Bring that up. So everywhere that I thought was dark, and we can always go in with, well, I will be going in with pencils over the top of parts of this picture. Hopefully you won't have to do too much on the water, but any like delicate areas that I couldn't get with this brush, we can go back in. Now I'm thinking that I might need to deepen that up. Just get my piece of kitchen towel. Just clean my brush off. And I'll leave that on the palette so that we can use it again, but like I said, I don't want to overwork the paper. So what's the next colour we've got? The next colour I've got is Ultramarine. Let's try this one. Scribble it on my palette, activate it, get that going. Okay, okay. Then we'll go back to this side where we already put that dark blue in. I'm just trying to move you so you can get it all, and then we're going to blob that in and let those run together. Just check. Yeah, no, it's doing a great job. It's not coming through. So I'm just I'm literally, no skill whatsoever, I'm just blobbing it on the page. But I'm keeping it moving so that I'm not, like I said, oversaturating that paper. Okay, let's go back to this side. Just try and get you in. Okay. So I'm going to come up this edge, sort of overlap them. Mind his little tail. Okay, we're going to use it here. And it will lighten up, so I might have to go over with another layer, but I will completely let it dry in between, and then I'll just follow what I've already put down. So the idea being is that we are going to get lighter as we come across this page. And it was doing my moons with those gorgeous Kuretake Gamzaitambi watercolour paints that started this. Just throw the colour down and let it do its thing, and I think it's so effective. Such an easy technique, but quite effective for water. So if you just watched my embellishment video, I got myself a little die cutting machine, and then I go and pick a page that doesn't need any embellishments whatsoever, but never mind. So I was saying to you before that I got myself a colouring cart, and my desk is so overloaded because I'm such a messy person. So I've put all my goodies that I need to hand all the time in my colouring cart. So now I can have pages, books that I've done can go on the bottom, and all sorts of exciting things. So there we go. Some darker colour in there. Like I say, I don't want to oversaturate the page, so I'm going to let that dry. Clean off my brush, and then we're going to get the next colour, which is, I'm going to start getting to the sort of turquoises. So this is light blue, and we're going to do the same. I've just snapped it. Oh, I hate that. I'm going to have to put tape around it. Ugh. I hate messing up my art supplies. I hate it. Alright, so let's go back over to this side. I'm just making sure that I can get you in, and then we're going to start dropping this one in. And pushing those two colours together. And then when we fill all the bubbles in with gel pen, it's just going to look very cool. I like it. So I'm going out with my mum and dad tomorrow. Going to take them for a cup of tea and maybe a little bit of lunch. I'm really looking forward to it. And my elder son has just started a YouTube channel, bless his heart. He is going to be doing one, it's called Me, My Son and Autism. And he is talking about the real life situation, joys and difficulties of being a completely single parent to my grandson, and the very real struggle of raising a child with autism. And I'm very proud of him. It's not an easy thing to do, to open yourself up, but so he's got one introduction video up, and then he's just done a couple of little snippets. It's quite funny, his video, to be fair. He is quite a funny lad. I'm just putting a little bit more colour down. So what I'm going to do is put the link for him in my description, and if you could pop over and say hi and show him a bit of support, I would really love that. So you won't see my grandson, but you do get to hear him. And Liam's going to be like vlogging, so you can see actual real daily struggles. Yeah, and he's going to, like he says in his video, he's going to kind of approach it with humour, because sometimes that's all you can do. And yeah, so, and he's hoping to sort of raise a bit of awareness about autism, and because we have experienced some like judgmental people when we've been out with him, because he looks a lot older than he is. He's only 3, and people can be very cruel when they don't understand. And although he can speak now, he does struggle to explain himself. He gets very frustrated. So yeah, so please go over and say hello. And so that, what was that? That was light blue. Now this is turquoise blue. Yeah, please go over and say hello, and give him that support that I know that YouTube is so amazing at. Okay, so this is going to start to get even just that more different colouring, and you can't see that because I didn't move you over. So I'm going to push that into that other blue, and then when it's dry, what I'm going to do is go back over and sort of, by reintroducing more of each of the colour in different areas, we can blend it out. But I think this already is looking quite effective. But as you can see, easy and no real watercolour skills involved. Just slapping it on there and letting it do its thing. So thank you to everyone for all your wonderful advice on my new die cutting machine and how to use it, for all you wonderful card makers out there. It was this card that I was sent. Isn't it beautiful? I was sent this by a subscriber, Louise, who made it herself, and it was that started me, oh, I need to look how to do it. And then came across the die cuts. I'll just put my card back. Came across the die cuts and thought, oh my goodness, we could put those in our colouring books. Just checking that I'm not... No, we're still fine, still not going through. And then, so like I said, I'm going to let it completely dry, and then I will go back in and blend the colours better. I don't want to ruin, because I'll ruin the book. Putting some more colour down. I don't think I'm going to need that very light blue. I think this one's enough. Then we just come to this last piece here and get that colour in. Can always go back over the fish if we need to. You see how it doesn't really like water, but it does dry okay. And then we are going to completely blend that out, and then we'll get on to, I think I'll try the Seahorse next. I'm desperate to colour him in, or the Eel, one of the two. Okay. Alright, I'm going to come out. So that is my, let me see if I can get most of it on, there we go. That's my intention for it. Now, I'm going to let it, like I say, completely dry because at the moment we're winning and there is no bleed through. No bleed through. It's a little bit on this page, but it's just water. Can you see there? So I'm going to let that completely dry. Then using the same colours, I'm just going to drop in some more just to soften the blend so it's not blocky. So I will come back when I finish that and I'll use exactly the same colours as we've done, but completely letting it dry in between. And then we'll meet up when we're ready to start one of these two. See you in a second. So we're dry and I've finished it off. I think it looks really effective. And what I did was added a tiny little bit of the Indigo Blue pencil in the deepest parts, not pencil, Neocolour 2, sorry. Yeah, in the deepest parts, and I think it looks really good, and it will look even better when we get the black out and they're all white bubbles. So I thought we'd start on the, I don't know whether he's a conger eel, he's an eel, and I'm looking at, let me just get it up, she says, I'm looking at a picture by David Petersen himself. I have got that right, haven't I? Yeah, wow. And I want to kind of emulate that. I'm going to make it a bit brighter because the actual image is quite dark, so I'm going to lift it up a little bit. And I've got 2 inks to start. Don't worry if you haven't got inks. You know, it's going to be okay because I'm going to do pencil over the top. So I've got, if I can block everything else out, Evergreen Bough and then Speckled Egg. Beautiful combination. So I've got my little tool ready so we're not faffing. I thought I'd start with this fin. So I'm going to put a piece of paper down because I always make such a mess and blotch ink somewhere. I'm just going to put this piece of paper down. So I'm going to start with Evergreen Bough. I'm just looking to see number 5, which, because I've numbered my little sticks so that I can keep them. I've got one for each of the inks. Excuse me. So I've got my Evergreen Bough, and what I'm going to do is start at the base of his fin, and I'm really lightly going in. It does actually feel like the lighter you are with the inks, the more control you get. And then I can push that out when the ink starts to lessen on the pad so that we can blend that in. And this paper's brilliant because it's smooth. You do have to ink these little tools up, but I am in love with using them. And the little makeup sponges. The little eyeshadow ones that I showed you, they're really good. So I'm just going to bring that colour up really carefully around here. And then with pencil over the top, it will just really help to bring this alive. So I'm just smoothing it out with the ink that's already there. So we can bring that up to a blend with the Speckled Egg, and it's going to look very cool, I hope. Okay, another little dip. Okay, so it starts to turn here, his fin, so we're going to put some up here. The one thing I have to remember is just lessen the pressure off. You don't need to like ram it down on the page. Okay. How's that coping? I'm sure it will be absolutely fine. Yeah, not a drop. Perfect. Okay, so his underneath is going to be dark. Oh, we've got this little bit up here too, so let's get that in. I don't mind that coral. And I'll just find pencils that are the closest match to the colour, or any little spots that I've missed. I'm just absolutely loving playing with the inks. They are such good fun and really effective. Okay, so let's do his jaw. I'm going to put, let me see. Okay, so I'm going to want some dark around here, so I'm going to be quite careful and just pull that out round his eye. You can see the colour that it's drying. It's a really pretty colour. So I'll just push that out now that the ink is lessening on my pad. I'm just going to pull that out. That just will help to smooth it and give us that space to put the speckled egg over it. Okay, a bit more ink, and we're going to do under here too. So of course this is all Zucchini Kitty's doing. After watching her for years with her brilliance with these inks, I actually followed a tutorial where she coloured in a wolf, and I will show that on my finished pages, just because I wanted to learn how to use them really, and who better than, a bit dark now, the master herself. And what I'll do is when I show you in my finished pages, I'll link the video that I followed on Zucchini Kitty's channel. So if you want to have a go, you can have a go yourself. So you have to keep filling up your little pad because they don't hold much ink. But I was listening to, I've been watching a lot of card making tutorials, and I was listening to Tim Holtz and lots of other people, and they were saying actually don't, you know, if you can keep your pads and not rewash them, they're easier to use because they build up with the ink, and they glide better then on the paper. So if you can, yeah, not reuse them, not wash them and keep reusing them for the same colours, it makes inking easier. So apparently there's a little tip that I didn't know about, but that makes sense. So if you think how the ink sits on that pad, and they're water reactive, so when you re-ink them, that's going to reactivate any ink on your pad. That kind of makes sense, doesn't it? Couldn't get in that little bend of the book there. Okay, so again I'm just pulling that colour out. So that we've got something to blend onto. So I'm just going to take some ink off there. Right, have we done? Yeah, okay. So, this should be okay now to go over. So I'm going to switch now to the speckled egg. I did have to re-ink this one. It's the first one I've done. Alright, hang on. And these will give us a beautiful blend from that green into that, from that, you know, that absolutely positive green into this bluey green. It's lovely. And then with pencil detail over the top, he's going to look magnificent, if I do say so myself. So I'm thinking of new videos to do, folks. Because I don't want the channel to get stale, and it's all about you guys, so that's what you want to see, really. So if you've got any ideas of things that you'd like to see me do, give us a shout, email me or leave a message in the comments, and I'll see what I can do. I was thinking of doing an updated colouring book video of all my new colouring books. There's been quite a lot in the year and a half that I've been doing YouTube. I was thinking of doing that. How can I get in here? I might have to get one of those little makeup sponges, those little makeup applicators for in there. And what we should see when this is dry is a really clear difference between the green and going into that beautiful blue that this speckled agate is. And in the original artwork, his eye is this gorgeous like orange colour. So that's going to be beautiful. Okay, so I'm just going to try and push that lightly up there. We need a little bit round his mouth and nose. Okay, and on his tail. Is there any more of them? Yeah, look down there. Okay, what I might have to do is try and open the book out a little bit further. Just so I can try and get in here. That's better than it was. There we go. Alright, we need to do this bit. This little bit that's tucked in here. So, I'm going to switch to my evergreen bough. Is that number 5? Yeah. Okay. Because it's going to be much darker in here. I'm not sure what pencils to use to go over this. And then I'm just going to push in a little bit of that speckled egg. Nope, speckled egg this side. There we go. So, I'm just going to put a bit more in there. Okay, so we have to let him dry before we can do anything more with him. I'm just going to come out a bit. So yeah, let him dry and we can see the full effect of that. Now we've got this gorgeous Seahorse, which is an orangey yellow, but I think if I do, I'm thinking if I put antique linen on him, let me get that out of my little storage case. I love this because I can see them all. So antique linen is there. I know I've got a little pad there, but I would prefer to use the smaller detail tools. So this is where I find it difficult. I'm going to have to find a different way of organising these. So number 8, let's have a look for an antique linen colour. What's this one? Nope. What's this one? There we go, number 8. That wasn't too painful. Okay. Now, look, I get in such a mess. Oh, it's all part of the fun, isn't it, people? Alright. So, we'll come back in. And I'm going to put the antique linen down as our base for him. And the reason for that is because he's so lovely and pale underneath. This will give us that that nice undertone that I want for him, and then we can go in with much darker and brighter pencils. But yeah, I'm absolutely loving the inks, and I consider them to have been a real investment that I'm going to enjoy. So I'm just going all over him, so that way we can wait for that to dry. A bit like watercolours, we can wait for that to dry before we go in with our pencils. So yeah, I could be using my bigger inking tool, but I like the way, excuse me, I'm going to have to get a drink. I like the way these little pads work on the paper. And I think that's probably because I've used them more. And like I was saying earlier, that I haven't managed to build the ink content up in those big pads yet. But here he comes, and this will dry again, much lighter. It's a gorgeous colour, this antique linen. And I'm loving being on summer holidays and sharing lots of things with you. And just being able to sit and colour, really, quite selfishly. There we go. What colour? His eye's bright yellow in this. So his is orange yellow, and the Seahorse is bright yellow in the picture. So now there was talk of a Mouse Guard movie, and there is a trailer on YouTube, and it looks amazing. So I really do hope that they bring it out, and that we are going to get to see it. Because it said it was released, it was going to be released as I understood it, it was going to be released last year. Right, there. So he's covered. Now our little mousey is grey. What colour grey can I use? Hickory Smoke might be a bit too dark. I'm going to leave him for a minute because it might just be too dark. So we're going to let the eel and the seahorse dry. Put my little inkers there. Let's come back out. See how quick the process is? I'm going to go and get myself a drink because I can hear my voice going. It is 12:30 at night. But it's some holidays. It's all part of the fun. So I'm going to go and get a drink because my throat's all drying up, and then we're going to come back and hopefully that ink will be dry and we can focus in on those. I'll see you in a sec. Right, got myself a drink. So I'm just going to add a bit of shading to our lovely seahorse. And again we'll do it with pencil, but I just want to put a little bit more interest in him. So I've got frayed burlap, beautiful colour, and just going to ink up my little pad. And so I'm going to put some shadow in under here, into his little face. Just push that down in here. We need a little bit around his eye and nose. Bring that down into here. Now, like I say, we're going to go in with pencil as well, so around his tail. It's going to dry a lot lighter than this, so just going to bring that around his underside. Push a little bit in his fins. And bring that up round his belly. Alright, okay, that was frayed burlap. So put the inks to one side just so I'm not getting myself in a pickle. So I'm going to use a combination of Light Fast and Luminance because I haven't used them on camera yet, I don't think, and they match these colours really well. So I am going to try and hold them up to you so you can see them, but the luminance are quite difficult for me to read. So I've got, I think that's Dark Sap Green 739, Peridot Blue, and I've got, let's see, Light Malachite Green 181. So if I just hold those up so you can see the numbers. There we go. That's what I'm going with. So I'm going to go in to start with our Peridot Green. Oh no, sorry, Peridot Blue. My apologies. And I'm just going to put some pencil down, and it matches so well with that ink. And then we can just fill in the little gaps that the inking pad didn't get to and bring that colour out. Okay, then in with the Luminance 181, and then this will help to blend into that beautiful speckled egg. Will give us a nice smooth appearance. There we are. Isn't that cool? And then taking the dark sap green, which is, if I can get it to focus, to block everything else out, 739. I'm going to deepen up around these dark areas that we've got. Not too much, but just sort of bring that so that black doesn't compete with the page, it kind of blends with the page. And just gives us a dark, the dark bits where we need them. There. I think that worked really well, those colours. Really helped to lift him and give him that nice tone and definition. Okay, and we've got round his eye, so I'm using the Peridot blue again. I'm going to bring this out. And I'm not going to obliterate the ink, but I'm just bringing it out in where we want more colour, a bit more deeper colour. I could go back in with the ink, I know, but this is fun. And when you start to see it all come to life, and just fade it out into that speckled egg. I'm not pressing heavy at all. Then I'm going to take our dark sap green and bring out that round his eye. He's a mean looking so-and-so, isn't he? Then there is like a very, what colour is it? Light aqua in the light fast set, which, let's get that out. My swatch book there, let's get that light aqua out. It's such a pretty colour. Yeah. So light aqua in the light fast, and then we can just smooth over all of that, and that will not take away from our speckled egg at all. It will just smooth it out. It's just a gorgeous colour, and I love how they do the like white hints of colour in the light fast set. And this is one of them. Okay, I'm just moving my swatch book. Okay. another sip of drink. Let's do his fin. I'm dying to do this. Okay, so I'm taking the Peridot Blue and we're going to bring this up. I'm so impressed with how that matches this gorgeous inks. And as you can see, it's hardly any work involved in colouring over them. And we don't want to speed up our colouring, it's our hobby, we love it, but there is a point when you're doing a big page like this that it gets tedious. So to be able to bring your inks out and just get these amazing effects, we might have to go back over the black, but get these amazing effects with using less pencil, less time, so you can just really enjoy it. So I'm going to leave that front and top bit lighter, and I'm going to bring in that light aqua. And push all of that together. Right, then we're going to take our dark sap green for down here. I'm just going to move it slightly. And just let it fade into that Peridot Blue. Can even enhance the dark lines of his fins with that. Isn't that cool? So I'm going to bring that up into that. I'm going to go back in with our Peridot Blue. I'm just going to bring that up a little bit further. Particularly like round here. And we'll let it fade in. Look at that depth of colour over the inks, isn't that amazing? I just, oh, yeah, well, I've banged on about it enough. They're lovely to work with, they really are. Okay, and then the light aqua. The light fast and the luminous just work beautifully together. So I'm really pleased with him. I'm really pleased with that, how he's coming out. So, I don't know whether to keep, the video's going to be so long, but hey ho folks, hey ho, let's just enjoy. Okay, so this is our Peridot Blue. colour in there, because it's going to be very dark because it's behind everything. And in that deeper water. And this one, which I can't remember what colour it is. Did I say it was? Light malachite green. Is it green? Yeah. Okay. Then we're going to put our, I'm going to blend that a bit better there. Easy, easy people, easy. And we're going to put the dark sap green in. Okay, just going to blend that out a bit better. Back in with our malachite blue. No, Peridot. I just need to stop saying the names, don't I? I'm confusing you. It's late, folks, it's late. Alright, so I am not going to bore you with the entirety of colouring the rest of him. I'm going to do the dark where we did the dark inks, the lights, and get lighter as we come towards the top of him. And I'll finish him off, and then we will meet back up and we'll start on this gorgeous seahorse. See you in a sec. Okay, so here he is. I've finished colouring him in. Now, when I finish colouring the page and we do the white bits, I'm going to use the metallic jelly roll. And I tested it out here just to go back over the black bits that we've washed out with the pencil. So it just catches the light a little bit, but it's not too overpowering. So we need to look at this bright eye and those menacing looking teeth. So if we come in, I've got 3 colours. Let me line them up for you because they're quite difficult to focus in on. I've got the Light Fast Scarlet, and I've got 850 and 240 in the luminance. So I'm going to use 850, let me just make sure you can see, 850 in the luminance, and I am going round, I'm going to go round the edge. Here. What was this one called? Cornelian. 850 is Cornelian. I struggle to read them on the pencil. And then 240. There we go. Which is lemon yellow in the luminance. And I'm going over that orange and I'm going to drag it out. Being careful I don't drag any of that blue in. And then where we've got the dark parts on his eye, I'm going to put in scarlet. Where's the camera? Here, scarlet in the light fast. So I'm just going to drop that in there. Just so it makes him look even more fierce than he already is. Back in with that cornelian. And then back with the lemon yellow. And just smush that lemon yellow and the cornelian together. There we are. Okay, now, can I find... Yes, I can. Prisma Black. So I'm just going to go round the pupil. And we'll lighten that up even more when we're done with, I'm sorry, that was just the Prisma Black 935. We'll lighten that up even more with a white gel pen at the end. I just don't want to smudge it all, and there we go. A little fiery eye. And then his teeth, I thought we could just do with yellow ochre. And this is the light fast again, so a light fast one. And we'll just... It's a nice, beautiful colour, but we'll make him look even more mean. And I'll go around this little gap that you can see here with pencil when we get to that. There we are. Okay, so I'm happy with him. I'm surrounded by stuff. Even though I've brought a trolley, my desk is still loaded. Right, we're going to move over and we are going to look to doing our... Get my picture back up. We're going to look to doing our beautiful Seahorse. So, I've got 3 colours that I'm going to try. I think I'm going to start on his tail in case these are too dark. So, from darkest to lightest, I've got a luminance, which is 069, which is, I can't remember, Russet, natural Russet. Oh no, I've picked the wrong colour up. Well, that's what we're using. 069, which is burnt sienna, actually, I've picked up. That might be why it's too dark. Give me a second. We're not going with that one. We might use that in a minute. So I want natural Russet, which is 066 in the, here it is, in the luminance. So that's what I was looking for. Natural Russet. Okay. So I've got natural Russet, Mars Orange, and this is a brown ochre, and it is 836. So there we go. And then we might use that one, the burnt sienna, just to deepen things up a bit. But I just don't want him too dark. So if we go in with our darkest at the moment, which is natural Russet, and let's follow the line of his face. And I've chosen this because he was just looking a little bit too beige, and it'll add that interest to him. So I'm going to fill that in where we put that frayed burlap. Bring that down. And we'll come round his eye. His little little eyelid. We'll bring that out. He's going to be a little bit more tricky to colour, I think, than the eel. Just because he's got all these bobbly bits. Okay, so in with the Mars orange. And we'll smooth that over. Just go over that and bring that out. And then I won't have completely obliterated the, what colour did we use? Well, the ink colour that we put down to start with. I will, we are going to use an ochre colour that will blend into that. So I'm going to put a little bit of this up this side of this little horn. Just want to see how this works before we go in too dark. Okay, so now I've got the brown ochre 836, and then we're going to blend that, and that's a perfect match for that. What colour did we use? Antique linen. So that matches really well with that. Then we can use this to push those colours into that ink. What do you think? I like it. Then I'm going to use the jelly rolls to put his dots in, because I've got those beautiful moonlight ones that aren't glittery but are dark colours, which is quite rare in gel pens. Okay, let's take that burnt sienna, which was the 069 burnt sienna, and let's just put a little bit of that in his darker areas. Just stop it looking so flat. Go a little bit up here. Not too much, then go back in with the 066 natural russet. And then Mars orange. Bring that round here too. And then our brown ochre. Now, not everywhere is going to be as dark as that, so that's just the side of his face. So, on this side we'll go in with the Mars orange, and we will bring that out and round. I'm going to bring some of that into these little speckles he's got on his face. Got down his nose. I forgot that. Forgot his little nose. And then then we can take our brown ochre, just push that in and blend that into our ink. There we go. Now there is another colour which I love using, and that is, which we are going to bring out if I can find it. I've got them all over the place. I think, is that it? No. It's a light fast and it's the wheat colour. There it is. I'm pretty sure that's it. Yeah, wheat. And it's a really pale beige that will help us blend that in. And just bring out that light, the light parts. And then again, like I say, I shall use the jelly rolls to go over his little dots. Yeah, that's cool. So we've got a nice bit of sort of orangey red going on. Okay, let's have a look at this bit. So we're going to bring in that natural, I think it was a natural, yeah, natural russet, because it's dark under here. I'm going to follow those. And there, Mars orange. And then our brown ochre. Into there. And that's how I'm going to do those top bits because they're quite dark. Then we'll address the little bits separately. And it will look so much better when we recolour the dots in. So okay, right, we've got around the back of here. So we're going to put that around his little sticky out bits, his little horns. A little bit in there, a little bit there, a little bit up this side. And then our brown ochre again. It just helps to blend and push those colours together. There. So when we get lighter down here on his belly, we're just going to miss out the natural russet and pop in just the Mars orange and the brown ochre when we start to get lighter. So let's do one, say here. So we're just going to have Mars orange. Come around this side. Let that fade out. And then get our, wrong one, brown ochre, and let that fade completely into that ink. Okay, you can use a little bit of wheat. Just to ensure that that's blended in. There we are. And we can just deepen up that edge. There we go. So I think it's going to look pretty cool. It's going to take some time to colour, folks, but it's going to be worth it. Okay. Brown ochre. And then our wheat. Okay. Right, I'm just going to look. Let me get the jelly rolls out. So I've got these Moonlight jelly rolls, and they are gorgeous, and they've got like darker colours in. So I'm going to take this brown one, make sure it's running, and then just to show you, because I'm not going to do it all over until I finish the page, but I am going to draw over those dots, and what will happen is it will bring him back to life, because he's gone a bit dull. There. And that will make all the difference then. So we'll do it on this one because we've coloured that, and I'll show you. I love these jelly roll pens. And that just brings the black ink back to life, so it's not dulled like it is here. So, and then on these parts, I think I'm just going to use the brown ochre. I might bring in some natural brown. Yeah, let's do natural brown. So, natural brown and brown ochre in the luminance, which is 836. So, just we're going to bring up the natural brown a little bit there, and then the ochre, and then the wheat. We'll just fill that in, just so there's a bit of difference between him and the rest of his body. What do you think? Okay, so I'm going to do the task of filling each one of these in like I've shown you, and then I'll come back and we'll do some more together. So if we just come out, we can have a look at our progress so far. You can see the difference that pencils over the top make. I love it. Alright folks, see you in a sec. Okay, so this is how far I've got. The Seahorse is now complete, and I've changed my mind about what I was going to use to do the black dots back in over the, you know, where it's dulled with the pencil. So I'm actually going to use my teeny tiny Posca, which is a 0.7mm, and looks like that. And I'm just going to go over, let me bring you in, move you up a bit. So I'm going to leave the bubbles out, and I'm just literally going over the dark spots to bring out that ink again, because the page is an inky page, you know, with all the dark. I think it will look better with the deep black on it. The bubbles, I am going to use the Arteza 1.0 pencil, so it's the Arteza gel pens, much used and well loved. And just move you over. I've just done a bubble there, so just be careful. So I'm going round them really slowly because my hands shake so much, but it's really going to be effective. and just try and block out all that black line, which I've left a bit there, but I'll deal with that later. So the last thing I want to do on this first part of the video is show you, I want to do the seahorse's eye, and then show you the pencils I'm going to use to deepen up the bottom half of the ocean. So I'm going to just use, quite simply, because I don't want him to look mean, I'm going to use yellow ochre and the lemon yellow, which is 240. I think that is lemon yellow, isn't it? Lemon yellow, yeah. So on his eye, just where did I put that white? I am just going to put that yellow ochre in to about there, and then I'm going to go in with the lemon yellow, go over that, just so it stops it being too bright, but we do get a nice shot of that lemon, and then blend that yellow ochre in. So I'll put that lemon in that side, and then the yellow ochre. So it's nice and bright, but it doesn't make him look evil like this little guy does. So if I bring us back out, too far, there we go. So pencils, this is what we're looking like so far. So all those bubbles will be white. That will be really quite effective. The dots on the seahorse and the eel will be blackened up, so any pencils that have dulled it out will be vivid again. And then the last bit, I've just got 2 pencils for this bottom half of the page, which will come in and I can show you then. I've got both light fast, I've got deep blue and dark indigo. So for the dark indigo, let me bring you over this side of the page, I don't want to smudge that ink. So any spots I didn't get with the ink, I'm going to use the dark indigo, and I will just fill those in. And that works really well with that deep colour that we put down initially with the neos. Okay, and then switch to the deep blue and use that for the brighter part of the sea. And the top half of it we'll worry about in the next section of video. I think we've got plenty to be getting on with. So that works really well. And again, if we want to, we can go over that black coral there. Alright, let me move that baby white. So, massive project for me to be doing, but this page is going to look gorgeous. I'm really loving how it's turning out. I might just put a tiny bit of that natural brown, I'll get the pencils out, around the edge of his eye. Let's just see what that, yeah. So I'm going to bring in a tiny bit of natural brown just before I go. I keep saying I'm going to go, but I'm enjoying it so much. A tiny bit of that natural brown in, just to make his eyes sort of pop and stand out a bit more. There we are. Alright my lovely friends, I'm going to go off and do this mammoth tasks of bubbles and dots, fill in the dark bits on the sea, and then we will meet back up hopefully tomorrow and do the rest of the page. We've got our little mouse and these gorgeous corals to do. Once all the little intricate bits are done, it shouldn't take too much longer because we're going to use ink again. So thank you so much for watching along and all your support as always. It means everything to me. So until I see you again tomorrow, take really good care of yourselves. Bye bye.